everyone, my name is GRAVESIGHT and welcome to Deadside, which is a survival game which came out in 2020 for PC but just recently got released for console. So here we are on the PlayStation 5 and I'm going to be running you through a quick tutorial here on how to get started in this game. Number one, you're going to start off with a pair of pants and a knife. Hurry up and take that knife and go ahead and equip it. We're going to be using this for later. Now, the first thing that we're going to be looking for here, your lighter. Let's go ahead and get rid of that lighter. You're never going to need it. It's absolutely useless. You can just drop it on the ground by doing so. Now, you're going to probably spawn around this location that I'm in. The very first thing that you're going to want to do is go ahead and visit the dock area right here because we're looking for some fishing line. We need some fishing line because we are going to be making a makeshift fishing pole so we can go ahead and start catching some fish. So there are going to be like pistols and ammo lying around. You guys can go ahead and grab one of those if you want at some point. Just be mindful too, in the very beginning, you're not going to have a lot of inventory space. So just be careful what you get. Oh yeah, and for clothing lying on the ground, you can easily go ahead and rip that up into rags. You will need the rags because the rags are going to be, just in case you get hurt, they can stop bleeding. And also rags and things like that, which I'll be showing you a more detailed tutorial here in just a moment's time on the rag situation. But what we're looking for right now, you guys, just combing the beach. We're looking for some fishing line. The very first thing that we need is some fishing line so we can make a fishing pole. An axe, that's gonna be great. We can use that for chopping down branches later. Perfect, right here. We got some worms. Now, another thing that we're gonna be looking for here is going to be a shovel. A shovel is going to be the only way that we're going to be able to dig up worms in the game, which we're going to be able to continuously keep fishing and doing that. So once again, we're going to be showing you guys exactly what you need to be doing here. So we are in the spawn location. Around the spawn location, there's going to be a well. We will be visiting that in just a short time. You guys need to be paying attention to the bottom left-hand corner of your game. That's going to be telling you your health, how much food, or if you're hungry, and also your water. You don't have to worry about this game getting wet and things like that. Another cool thing too, we're in a PvE session right now. So this game has PvE and it's got PvP. And if you're in a PvP, there's no offline rating like in DayZ and Rust, in which they have there, to where it'd be annoying every single time that you basically go online. My friends tell me it happens to them all the time in Rust. You go online and your base has been raided and all of your stuff is either gone through and or your base is half destroyed. Well, that doesn't happen in this game, ladies and gentlemen. So once again, I'm just combing the beach. The respawns in this game are really good. It's not like any other game. Now, if you run across a little bit of marijuana, you guys can be eating this to get yourself maybe a little bit of water out of it or a little bit of food. There's also going to be things like berries, mushrooms, and apples, but I'm going to let you know right now, these are going to be some of the lowest forms of food in the game that's not going to get your character really where you need to be. So one of the best things you can do is just forage around in the actual spawn location. So you guys are going to be finding berries here, you're going to be finding mushrooms, marijuana, stuff like that. You can just be eating these items because what we're still looking for here, ladies and gentlemen, is the well, which is right here. So you always want to stay close to the well unless you guys have some sort of container. So you're going to want to be looking for some sort of plastic bottle and or a flask, which most likely around in this spawn area here, if you roam around a little bit, you'll end up finding some bottles that you guys can go ahead and get. Once again, if you guys come across something like this, oh, check it out, there's food in there. We're gonna grab that food and we're gonna eat that right now, just to make sure that we don't go hungry. So yeah, you can find food around here, canned fish, duck legs, and other things like that. Now, for the food in the game, there's 3 different types of like animals that we're going to be going after. Fish, which there's like 4 different types of fish that you can be eating in the game. There's deer and there's duck. One of the best food items that you're going to be going after here in the very beginning of the game, which is going to sustain your health, right when we're going to be about time making a base and then also loading some gear up and stuff like that, which we're going to also be showing you here in just a moment's time. So once again, you guys, we don't have much of an inventory here. You need to be looking for a coat. A coat is going to get you some extra inventory, and also if you can find a backpack and or a vest. We also have the ability of carrying things here. So it looks like I only have 6 inventory spaces, not including all of the inventory spaces. Oh, check that out, a shovel. I told you guys earlier, we're gonna need that shovel for digging up worms because worms are the only thing that we're gonna be using basically for fishing. And I'll show you how the building goes down in just a second. So we got one of the items that we need. We're still looking for fishing line, which we found fishing line. There it is. We're gonna go ahead and collect this. Now that we have fishing line, we can make a makeshift fishing pole, and by doing that, you can just go up to a bush and start chopping the bush. By chopping the bush, you're going to be getting yourself branches. Branches are later on going to be used for making items in the game, which there's going to be a very easy tutorial items here on which we're going to be looking at on exactly what you need to build what in the game. So over here, check this out. We've got weapons, we've got medication, we've also got this stuff right here, sleeping bag. We're going to be talking about that in a moment's time. There it is. So we can build a fishing pole. It's not going to be the best fishing pole in the game because there is a better fishing pole, and you can find this better fishing pole either at the trader, which will be either a later video here on the channel, getting more progressed here in the game. This video in particular is just going to be helping the beginning player out and getting a foothold in the game. So I'm going to use my shovel. I'm going to dig up some worms. We actually now at this time have a makeshift fishing pole, and we can go fishing because fish is going to be one of the main quickest, I would say, and fastest way that you guys can get some solid food in the game. And then also I would suggest too, maybe if you are going to build a base, maybe have it by the water source like the well, because at this time I have not found any bottles. Now if I run out of water, I'm going to start dying. The same thing with food. So the well is not terribly too far away, so I'm just continuously watching the bottom left-hand corner of the screen, monitoring my health and also my water and my food consumption. So right now, we're just going to go ahead and try a little bit of fishing out. Now, I want to let you know right now, too, with this stick and fishing line, it is not a very good fishing pole. So it'll get you like where you kind of need to be. It'll get some food in your belly after you guys do this for a minute. Bam, there it is. Got another fish. Now, this is something I want to go ahead and talk about as well. Once you guys go ahead and land a fish, you can fish in the same spot, but the likelihood of you catching something is going to be even more dramatically increased. So what I like to do is just go up the river or up the lake, whatever, basically just change your location and then start fishing again. By doing so, you will go ahead and increase the chance of getting a fish, although once again, using this particular fishing pole, which is just a stick and a fishing line, it's not very good. Once you guys actually find the real fishing pole in the game, fishing becomes a lot easier and is going to be most likely one of your main sources of food in the game, beyond the fact of going around the waterways, shooting ducks, you know, and then processing those, and or just finding deer about. Other than that, basically what I said before, we got berries, we've got the marijuana stuff, we've got mushrooms, and there are apples on the ground. Other than that, I don't really believe that there's much other food sources, but the food sources that you can find just by roaming around, like canned goods, like canned soda, and also canned food, you can go ahead and find that also in the game, which is really nice in the beginning, just fishing around and stuff like that. So yeah, if you don't catch a fish, move on to the next location, and then just keep fishing until hopefully you land some fish. Although once again, this fishing pole sucks. You're gonna want a new one. So you're gonna want to go either save up some money later on to go to the trader, which you can buy a fishing pole there, or you're just gonna go ahead and find one in one of these dock areas. And the likelihood of you finding one is pretty easy. All right, now we need to build a fire because we got a fish, and now we need to eat the fish because I'm hungry. This may be something that you're gonna run into a little bit of trouble right here. So I want to build a fire. I've got the branches, but it's like, hey, you can't build in this location. So let's talk about that for a second. So if I'm near like any buildings, you know, I don't even know how that guy out there was building on that boat. That was actually pretty cool out there if you guys seen that earlier. You're gonna need to move to a location in which you can actually build. So it's not gonna say that I can build until I get to a green area. And then also we will be going through the very first steps of building and establishing a base in the game. Once again, this is a PvE, meaning no other player can, you know, I would say grief my base, you know, not like a PvP. If it was a PvP and you having a base right here, right out in the open, everybody's going to visit it. It's probably going to get destroyed, but that can only happen if you're online. No offline raiding here, folks. All right, so we got our fire going. Now let's drop our fish. Let's take our knife and let's chop it up. For each fish, we're gonna get 2 pieces of fish. Bam, there we go. Now let's go up to the fire that we just built, and we need to cook this fish. So we're gonna put the fish over here, and now we're gonna cook the fish. So there we go. So now we got ourselves a little bit of a food source, which unfortunately the fish takes maybe a little bit longer to catch because of this crappy pull. But once again, it's going to be a better food source and your main food source in the very beginning of the game here. And it's a lot better than eating berries, mushrooms, or any other crap that you're going to find on the ground. Seriously. So one of the things you're going to need to do is probably chill out for a bit, especially if you're in a PvE, and do a little fishing. You know, you run out of worms, dig up some worms, because fish is going to be one of the best ways, once again, of getting you ahead in the game until you can start actually moving around the map, establishing multiple bases. So I believe in one server, you can have up to 15 beds, but you can have a lot more bases than that. So you can build like an unlimited amount of bases. And a lot of times too, what I see from these servers, there's no wipes. So that means like the base is just either going to get built and decay. Recently, we got an update where it increases the actual duration of our bases once we put materials into that stuff, which we're going to be going over here in just a second. So we got our fire, and we're just roaming around right now, collecting some things. So there's our bottle of water. Now that I have a bottle of water, I can fill that bottle of water up with water, and then if I get thirsty through my travels, then I can go ahead and drink that water instead of like having to worry about going back to the actual well itself and getting water from there, which if I do drink the water out of the bottle can be reused, and then from there, we're just gonna go ahead and keep looting around this area. Now, this game does not have zombies right now, but we do have NPC enemies, and they are crazy hard. So in the very beginning, like the necessary of you having a gun, you're gonna want a gun at some point, but that's gonna be later on for where to find the best guns in the game technically. And now that we have a sleeping bag, let me explain that real quick. So our sleeping bag is basically our spawn location. If I die in the game, I can spawn on this sleeping bag and my body will still be on the map, so I can run back to my dead body and I can get all of my stuff just in case I end up dying and you guys are lucky enough to actually get back to your dead body, because I think it despawns in like 15 minutes or something like that. You really don't have a lot of time and you don't want to be messing around here necessarily. So if you guys are going to be going into like bunkers and stuff like that, always make sure you got yourself a sleeping bag, because you can just go ahead and lay that sleeping bag down, and if you die, you can just go right back to your stuff and get that. All right, now we're gonna build a couple things here. We're gonna need one of those. We're gonna build this. So you will need a hammer. You should be able to build a hammer. It's not really hard at all. You're gonna collect the parts. So for building, you guys, you're just gonna go ahead and like, you know, it's not that complicated. I think we'll raise this up just a little bit. But I'm gonna show you a problem you may run into, which I'm gonna be running into right here. It says that I can build here, but can I actually place my container in which I can store all of the goods that I need to have in there? We'll be looking at that in just a second. We got ramps and other stuff like that recently with the one of the updates here. We got a lot more building options in the game, so you guys have a lot more options here on, I would say, PlayStation and Xbox, which recently Deadside just came over here. All right, so this is what we're gonna do. We got all this stuff and we need to move some things around. We gotta have these items here. Now, this is it right here. And I'm like, dude, I just put down foundation and it's not gonna allow me to place this. And what's the reason? Yeah, similar objects are nearby. So what does that mean? That means I'm too close to either somebody else's base and it will not allow me. I don't even understand. So we're just gonna go ahead and break this stuff down real quick and move further down the river. You just have to get yourself to a location that's not around anybody else. So maybe that dude across the river was messing me up or something like that. So here we go. We made a base, we got our stuff down, and just to let you guys know too, so the box behind me, that's where you're gonna be putting your branches in. If your building is made out of branches, you gotta have branches in there. If you've upgraded it to planks, you gotta put planks in there. If you've upgraded it to like metal, bricks, and or cement, you got to have that stuff inside this box right there to make sure that your base basically stays alive in the game. So from here, you guys, we got water, we got fish, and we got a base. This is going to be part one of a multiple part series probably here on the channel, just going through some help guides for those players out there that are brand new to Deadside just like myself and have already been in the game messing around and learned a whole bunch of stuff so I can share it with you guys. So once again, if you guys enjoyed this video, it would help out if you hit that like button, subscribe for more content, go check out more videos, and thank you all for watching. My name is GRAVESIGHT and I'll see you in the next one. So peace!